You're listening to the Stripped Podcast by the Lacrosse Flash, talking all things life and lacrosse with Tyson, Geick, and Colton Clark.
Once again. Welcome to episode 6 of Stripped. Our guest this week, we're going to announce him in a bit, but
he's fashionably late.
Yeah.
We've been, how long have we been waiting for him now? I think he was supposed to be here at 6. It is
6:31.
6:31. But he's a superstar, right? He's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, I mean, probably, I don't know, leading the way in terms of most valuable player votes across the league, I would say. There's an argument to be made.
A few moments later.
Hey, brought my snowboard back.
Welcome to the studio.
Mitch, he comes in, he's already cranking a beer too.
I brought one for everyone, but there's a long ride over here.
Eventually.
All right, we're going to try this again since Mitch is now in studio. Mitch, welcome. I want to welcome you to episode 6 of Stripped. I'm the former knuckle-dragging spooner, I was called in our reviews on Apple Podcasts.
Mine was pretty good. I didn't mind mine.
Yeah.
What's the number of reviews you guys got so far? I can't remember what it was. It was like a big podcast site. I said they only had like 36.
We have one.
More than that. How many are they? Any good ones?
We got 15. We got 15 ratings.
Okay.
We got one review though. That's
our
our only text review. That's on Apple Podcasts at least. I don't know how Spotify works.
Okay.
Got to look into that. Anyways, okay. So I'm joined by my co-host Colton, the great reader Clark. On today's episode, we got from the Vancouver Warriors, Mitch Jones, graduate of Northern Michigan University, current leader in NLL goals and points. I got to turn my sound off here. Babysitter of Logan Schuss and certified man rocket. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Cheers.
Guys.
Cheers.
I've got a head start, I guess.
Yeah. Ben, cheers. Drink.
And I forgot to mention producer Ben, of course.
Yeah, producer Ben.
Good to be here. I was saying I've listened to the podcast. I guess I should have known it was on video, but the lights are bright.
No, you're an audio guy. That's okay. Yeah. Not everyone needs to consume it visually. So
It's all right. Yeah, audio's good, I think.
So for the first time on the podcast, we actually haven't even really talked about lacrosse, and we figured this. I mean,
Are we not talking lacrosse today?
actual current games. We figured we'd start things off with the last game you guys played. We won't talk about Friday's game.
Yeah,
we'll talk about Sunday's game.
I guess to address that, we haven't really been like an X's and O's podcast, right? Like talking about strategy or combinations or line chemistry, maybe a little bit. We've just brushed the surface, but like, how could we ignore what happened in the weekend? You put the team on your back. That was, the craziest 5 minutes I've ever seen. And it was just in such dramatic fashion. So let's start with
I got a good place to start.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's start with Turner Evans, I believe his goal that counted, which clearly by the review that you can see from home, his foot went in the crease, out of the crease, back in the crease.
Even a little bit further. So the first call that kind of got us up in arms and we're already battling on the road. It's a long trip to Rochester. We played Friday night. We get there. We're it kind of gets you in the zone, to be honest. You're kind of battling the travel and all that. Game goes along. I think it was early in the game. I actually don't remember, but Jordan McBride scored the goal. And then he actually didn't touch the goalie. And if you know Brider, he's all about jumping in the crease and scoring goals, but not in a way that's threatening. It's he's falling over. They call a penalty on him, and he wasn't in the crease. Well, it was very, very close, but they called it a goal. And by all accounts, from everything we saw, it was inconclusive evidence, and they called that no goal. So now we're kind of hot. And he got a penalty, and they scored on the power play. It was a 3, at least a 2-goal swing. So then to what you're saying, Turner Evans scores a goal where it's not inconclusive. It's he's in the crease.
Yeah.
He's clearly in the crease. So now I'm I don't know, I'm a pretty emotional player. So I'm freaking out. I want to kill someone. I'm out there trying to, I want to murder the refs. I want to murder the other team.
Though at that point, I think.
In my mind, I am
from what we saw.
Yeah. I think the guys who've played with me longer are okay, he's fine. But sometimes when people see me go nuts for the first time, they're oh, he's off the rails. Kind of thing. So that was kind of the mood I was in, just going nuts. And then that was the start. But that should not have been a goal.
No, absolutely not. What were the coaches saying to you guys on the bench? What's the mindset on the bench? Obviously,
well, that happened pretty quick because how much time was left in the game there? There wasn't really much said.
There's like under a minute. I think.
Under a
and,
minute?
at that point, then we're down on it. It was kind of like, okay, how do we get the ball
Yeah.
back kind of thing. There wasn't like anything said about that. I think the funniest part of it, well, there's a couple, but so after we're down 1, they got the ball again. So Turner Evans actually had the ball, and I'm steaming, like losing it. And Hiltz is the one ref, and I've known him since junior. I've seen him take a lot of abuse, and like he's trying to blow the whistle. And so I'm in the double team to get the ball back, and I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, like, get the fuck out of the way. And he's trying to back us up, like that's what you normally do.
Yeah.
I'm losing my mind, like telling him, I'm like, blow the fucking whistle, like blah blah blah. And he did, and we ended up we shouldn't have been that close. So that's kind of how we got the ball back. But and that kind of started, probably. I don't know if we got any backlash or something like that, but.
So was there a plan on your guys' bench, like when you're down by a goal? Were you the guy that
Get the ball to Jonesy?
Plan on taking the shot, or was there a play, or did you like?
Yeah, we have like our 6-on-5 play we work on. The ball goes to me. It's a pass first play though. Like it's kind of I have about 3 options. Basically, everyone on the right side kind of has a route to run or whatever. But if you watch the video, Logan's just in there being an NFL lineman. So like I literally look around and like, okay, like I gotta shoot this one. That was kind of what.
And you blasted top corner.
Yeah,
Man, that shot was nuts.
I had a lot of fun with that Rylan Hartley kid. I don't know him at all personally, but I'm an Orangeville Northern fan, obviously, and he's an alum there and won a Minto Cup there. So from the beginning of the game, I was kind of just in his ear chirping him. I think he thought it was funny too.
Yeah.
So it was nice to. It took me a while to actually score on him, so it was nice to get those feet again.
He was fantastic in that game. Like such an athletic goaltender. He moves a lot, but I don't think it was like too much. Like he wasn't getting himself too far out of position. And I think, if he's able to keep stuff like that up, he's going to have a home as a number 1 net miner in this league for sure. But let's go back to that overtime goal. So you guys are man down. Do you want to?
Yeah, no. Just like when you're about to take that, when you're sorry,
fuck
Tyson.
me, right?
Sorry,
Yeah.
Tyson. Well,
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. We share the floor. Go ahead.
What's going through your mind when you're taking that shot? Are you confident in that shot? Are you?
What is this? Overtime or to tie?
No,
it up?
this is to tie.
Okay,
it.
to tie.
No, this is to tie it. We'll talk about overtime after.
tying
Like
one.
when you got that ball, you realize there's nobody on the
Tying
right.
one, no, I wasn't confident.
weren't?
It was like I was looking to pass, and then I was like, okay, I have to shoot.
You're
And
like,
then
fuck it,
even
I'm
after I
shooting.
shot it, I was like, I felt okay about it, but I wasn't sure. The overtime one, as soon as I left the stick, it was like I knew it was going in.
So carrying that, obviously after that, you had some big dick energy going on, and if Ricky Fowler
medium
is
energy.
Big Dick Rick to golf, you were big junk Jones, I guess you could say, in overtime, and you made quick work of it. Did you know you were going to be the guy to take that shot, or you were confident in that shot, or
The overtime one, I've actually never. I don't think I've scored an overtime winner in the NLL before.
Wow.
So once I did, I was kind of confused, to be honest. Like I was all alone at the end by myself.
You've been pretty clutch though in the past. Like I remember you with the Bandits, like minutes left. You had a couple goals with them going down to tie things up, to send it to overtime at least, but no game winners.
Not in overtime, not sudden death in the NLL. So that was kind of fun. But like when it happened, I was honestly a little confused. I was down at the other end by myself. Like it was a partial breakaway. So then if you watch the video, I just start attacking the ref again. That was my natural.
Oh, well, yeah, that's we need to get into that too. But
what about after the game? You guys obviously
okay, wait. No,
You're
I'm gonna rewind it here. So we're gonna put up the replay. I need to edit this in because it was just so good. Like I couldn't stop watching.
I got a lot.
Scores the goal, like the nastiest kind of like fist pump, and then turns right to the ref. And I think Creed's was in his face too.
Creed's is awesome to play with. Like I think some other guys. So Creed, he didn't play a lot last year.
Yeah.
And they didn't start the beginning of this season. And he's like just a ball of energy.
Yeah.
Like I kind of mentioned how I get a little heated sometimes.
Yeah.
He's like always on. So like always.
Dude, I played against that guy in junior, and he absolutely destroyed our assistant captain at center. Just like pumped him. It was nuts. But he's always had that kind of
polar opposite off the floor, right? Like,
he's just happy-go-lucky off the floor, like always smiling.
you don't want to get in that guy's way though.
He's
like,
super intense, and I love it. But like literally halfway through last game, like Creedy's on another level, and I'm like, people are pissing me off. I'm on another level, and I looked over at Keegan Ball, and I like looked him in the eyes, like, "Are we being a bit much?" And he just looked at me. He's like, "Yeah, it's a bit much." Like I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna lay off a little bit. Like I'll let Joel do his thing." Like we're just both screaming on the bench, and like I don't know. Usually I'll ask like Logan or something. Well, I know, but I had to sit there and ask him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, like you guys can, can chill the fuck out if you want to."
And shout out to him. He had a hell of a game too, right? He had 4 goals, I think.
Creeds?
Yeah.
I think 4 or a hat trick. But he scored 4?
Yeah.
And the downtown goals he was scoring, man, like
yeah. He can
Not
shoot
as,
the ball.
not as typical bowling ball.
To give you a little glimpse, like
goals.
Creed's like he didn't have his best game against Buffalo by any means, right? He like didn't have a good game. He comes up to you before the game. He's like, you gotta give me the ball, Jonesy. Like you just do it. Okay, I promise. Like good things are gonna happen. Like going, I'm like, yeah, dude. Like yeah, I trust you. Like I'm gonna get you the ball.
He's been one of those guys this season. Like when he's on. Brad Challoner tweeted it out. He's like, it's either 0 or hat trick for Creeds this year. So he's when he's clicking, he's dialed in. Colt, you wanted to ask about post game.
Yeah, post game. You guys had to have celebrated that. You know, as
Dinosaur barbecue.
You split the
dino.
weekend.
The Dino. Oh man, I love that spot. Have you been?
No.
No.
You know the dinosaur? Yeah.
The Dino's the
I've
best.
never been to Rochester.
It's probably it's the best thing about Rochester.
It's beautiful. The Brown River that flows right through. It's
Dino's beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't know about the Brown River, but no, Dino Barbecue is just a great restaurant. We got it ordered in right to our bus after that. I know about it because like I lived in Buffalo and they have one in Buffalo. I would say it's probably my favorite restaurant.
Is that all? That's all you guys did?
No, well, we had a long bus ride home.
I saw
We
Logan.
You went to Toronto.
I saw
and
Logan
then home?
snap saying it's a bad night to be a black cherry white claw.
Oh yeah.
The boys got on the White Claws, which is rare. Like they're not in Canada, right? So we got on the White Claws. We're on the Bud Lights. We made it through the border somehow. We literally drive our bus through the border, and like we get off, there's just empty beer cases everywhere, and like, anyways, they let us through. Our flight was delayed a little bit, so it was an airport. It wasn't like we were going out in Rochester or anything, but it was the airport.
Just having a little fun with it. Just the boys.
Boys were happy.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
So what's the feeling and the mood like now? Like you split the weekend. Obviously you squeak one out against Rochester, but all things considered, it's good because they're improving on the season anyways. But like you're on the road, you pull out that win. Buffalo was like a little bit tough, so it's like you go 1-1, but you're still in the thick of things in your division. So how does the team feel, and like what's the psyche like there?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it honestly and split it down, or look at it, I think a split is kind of, we would have to be happy with that, right?
Yeah.
Going into the weekend. Our teams, the NLL's a very up and down league. Like every team I've been on, when you win, it feels like everyone's so happy because you only play once a week, right? And it reminds me of college hockey, the way that was. Like it's weekend games. You grind out the week doing whatever you're doing, whether it's your day job or working out or just watching film and getting ready for the game. And then you get that one chance on the weekend. Yeah. And like when you lose, it just feels like heartbreak. And when you win, it feels like it's everyone's super pumped. Right. So yeah, we're riding a high right now. The one thing that we have kind of talked about as a team is like we won those 2 games in a row. I think it was New England and you guys do your homework.
Oh, Colorado.
Did you not hear him? We're not
it was the Warriors. It was the Warriors' longest franchise winning streak. So we had that, and like we were patting ourselves on the back. Like we were happy, and like we didn't really show up against Buffalo. Like they're a good team. Don't get me wrong, but like we just made way too many mistakes to give ourselves a chance to win that game. And so then we grind one out in Rochester, and it's kind of like, hey, like let's smarten up. But we can celebrate our wins, but like we gotta move on to the next week and be a little more focused than we were against Buffalo.
Well, the resiliency was great in that game. Honestly, watching on, when I tuned in like a little bit later, I was like, these guys are down and out. Like I just didn't see you guys coming back there. And I mean, so that was impressive. We producer Ben getting a shot here. We need an opener.
Ben. I picked you guys to win.
I've noticed. I watched that stuff. Mostly see the picks for like just a little bit of stupid motivation or something like that. But I've seen you boys in picking Vancouver every weekend.
Should I? Well, that's not true.
Yeah, maybe pick
that's not entirely true.
I'm loyal.
True. I went 50% on you guys.
Yeah, maybe
this
pick
weekend.
against us, that I can send you like a gutty text before the game. Don't take it personally, but like
Yeah, for sure. I'll just start picking against you every weekend as a secret motivation.
We got
for
an
you guys.
opener. We got an opener. The beers are flowing. Okay, so we got to address something. I don't think there's ever been more than like 2 beers consumed on a strip podcast by someone. Teddy might have had 3.
No,
maybe.
he had like 6.
Well, like that was like the cameras weren't rolling, so this might be the first time that we ever get in. Like we drink up a little bit.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
not a dry studio, is it?
No, come on.
last week it was. Last week it was. Cheers to that. But no, we had Curtis Dixon who was going to the gym.
Right. So we were on the waters.
Logan only had 1 because he had a game the next day. And
No, was it a game?
yeah,
He had a game the next day.
I think so.
Well, you guys got me on Tuesday.
Yeah,
night.
we had-
And this is like the
Ready to
fastest
go.
turnaround for a strip podcast ever as well, because like Logan, we didn't release that one for like a month and a half. Dixon was probably a month. Delb's a week or 2. It's getting closer and closer.
You guys
we
are up in
slacked.
production.
We are. We're just pumping out the content
We've
here
just
at
been
the Lacrosse.
slacking off, and well, we were
Okay,
supposed to.
like if we're gonna talk about that, you guys also told me Friday night. Like, what if I didn't show up?
We had a plan B. It wasn't a great plan.
It was post loss. I was kind of like not having, and you guys are like, you gotta come. I'm like, okay, like I'll fucking come.
That's-
I'm happy to be here. Don't get me wrong, but
That's how we get you.
Man,
We
you
just
live
ambush
3 blocks away.
yeah.
I know you haven't watched the video, but like I just didn't stop ringing Logan's phone for episode 1, and finally he just gave in. He's at Earl's. He's like, I'm not coming on your podcast. Finally, he broke down. He's like, man, I'll do it.
I think
You
I
know,
know
feel
Logan
bad
better
for
than
you.
that. I think he was maybe begging to come on, but
He was itching, eh?
He pretended like he didn't.
Are you gonna throw it
No,
to me?
I was gonna say while we're on the topic of lacrosse, before we get off it.
Yeah, I have something that kind of came to mind, and you were talking. I asked you about like the psyche and stuff, but this season you're crushing it. You're on pace for 112 points. Not to jinx you, don't want to screw that up at all. So sorry, Warriors fans.
that's in my mind right now. Just
Is it?
like there's been a lot of tweets and people
MVP. I'm guilty of that.
He knows exactly.
Yeah.
He's
He knows-
watching. He's watching every game.
I'm aware of like the.
Okay.
I'm not gonna. But yeah. It is what it
So
is.
your confidence is probably at an all-time high right now, and the Warriors, you guys are doing relatively well, but it's not like you're on a team that's putting up tons of points. You're actually contributing so much to that. How much has confidence played a part in your success so far this season?
I'm usually running high confidence to begin
Yeah.
with. I think it's like I've kind of had the mindset like can't be stopped kind of mindset.
Yeah.
But when you step back and look at it, it's like, okay, you're playing offense. I'm gathering some like defensive attention every game. Like I'm gonna be stopped more than I'm not every game, right? So I've kind of just have that mindset like you just keep pushing, keep going. I think it's paid off so far. And like I said, I'm aware of the jinxing kind of thing, but
Yeah.
I'm not superstitious. I'm just kind of, it's like I know there's work to be done. It's not we're halfway
You're not
through,
gonna get
right? We're halfway
complacent.
through and we're 4 and 5. It's
Right.
like it's all everyone's happy right now, but there's lots of work to be done.
Playoffs would be fun.
Playoffs will be a lot of fun. I haven't been in a lot of playoffs. I think it's 2016. Went on a finals run.
Oh man.
I haven't been back since then. So yeah, playoffs will be a lot of fun.
Is there a number of goals or points per game that like you're content with, and anything past that, it's fucking
Bonus.
your gravy bonus? But like, is there a number that you shoot to every game? You're like, if I get 4 points, you know what? That's a decent game for me. That's what I expect out of myself.
No, I think I look at it more like post game. I'll look. It's like, hey, if I had 10, I call them grade A chances, and I only scored 2, I'm kind of like, oh, I should have more. But if I was battling and got like 5 grade chances and scored 3, I'm like, okay, I kind of did my part, right?
Yeah.
I think I look at it a little more like that, and then wins and losses obviously kind of put your mood into account. I wouldn't say there's a number of points, and I'm like, oh, like sick, like
Fucking yeah, man.
yeah, like that's
Pat yourself in the back.
How good does it feel to score like your first shot of the game? I know for me, like when I know I'm gonna have a good game is when you score on your first shot. You're like, it's got to be. It's
And
at least
against
a hat trick
Buffalo at
today.
that.
It's,
I rarely do that, so I don't know.
Your
no, it's
former
rare,
team,
but
you did
usually it's
it?
a good game.
No,
when you
it's
do.
good. I mean, you can even break it down to like first quarter or early in the game. It feels good, but same kind of thing. It's like game flow. It's like, hey, I scored my first one, but we're down 2-1 and I just missed 2 chances. It's like, hey, that doesn't feel good anymore, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of the way I go about it, or the way I feel.
Then do you ever think about your shot percentage? Like, this summer for the first time ever, I think I was second in the league to Robert Church.
That's
not a big deal. Just
it's one of those things.
Not in points, people.
just shooting percentage.
I mean, like I've never double clutched a shot, being like, oh, like this isn't a great percentage shot, or like. But it's something you look at after. Like if I see I'm shooting 5%, I'm like, okay, what am I like? I'm gonna have to change something a little bit.
Yeah.
Or if I do a lot of research on the goalies I'm facing. And like, to be honest, sometimes there's goalies in the league, not really depending on how good they are. Like some of the good goalies I feel more confident about. Some of the goalies I don't know as much about, you feel less confident about. So that kind of takes into account your shooting percentage. But yeah, it's a good feeling if you're shooting high percent for sure.
When it comes to games at Rogers Arena, I think like production has been upped big time. I'm a very, very small part of that, but maybe I am a little bit biased. But
we've heard about. Sorry to interrupt you. We've heard about the Vancouver Canuck Geick effect. I don't think it's really taken its toll on the Warriors. That's on us. Like we gotta win some games at home.
It's the Geick effect.
Okay, sorry.
It's the Geick effect. Jim Else will kind of back that up, but.
You're also not within like a goal usually at home, right? So that's usually when the Geick effect.
Okay, it's like it's a specific time. Like
I swear there was.
I thought it was just because they they had a big winning streak at home, right? I thought it was just
no
like,
word of a lie. There was 3 or 4 home games where they were like, okay, we're gonna throw it to you, like 3 minutes left in the game to 2 minutes, whatever, 1 minute. Yeah. Take it to a fucking 11, and I'm like, all right. The vein in my neck activates, in my forehead starts popping out, and then I just lose my mind. Like pregame, all the time, I see white. I swear to God, like the cameras are on, and I'm screaming so much that I walk away, and I'm like, whoa.
Can I tell a funny story about, it wasn't the last game I was at, but I was at a Canucks game.
Yeah.
Oh, obviously not going to name the name, but I can't remember who it was anyways. But I was sitting, and there was a girl, and we were talking, and we were like, hey, like, what do you, like, I was like, hey, I know that guy, like, what do you think of him? And she's like, fuck, he's super hot. Like, I like that guy. And then, okay, so listen, it's kind of don't spell the word. It's kind of a chirp. So then, like 2 days later, I asked this girl again. Oh, I don't know. Okay. So I asked her again. I'm like, remember that guy? Like, I don't know. Maybe you came up again or something came up. And I was like, what do you think? She's like, yeah, I still think he's super hot. But like, all I'm imagining is him like going me and screaming, go Canucks, go. And she's like, I just don't know if I could do it. It killed me. I was dying. But
baby, I love you.
Yeah. Sorry, baby, if you're listening. I have no part in this. That's one of those things.
It's like a comment, but it's hilarious. I think it's hilarious.
If a girlfriend's watching, she's like, I get shit for it. I'm like, I didn't even do anything.
Yeah, I know.
I did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So we had those 3 or 4 games. It was a thing, and I remember my next one they didn't score, and I was like, shit, what did I do wrong? And I get in my own head. I'm like, was I wearing the wrong jersey? I did the other game, and they actually lost. So that's where it kind of like we hit a little bump in the road, but I got the jersey on right last game, and we're back at it. So
I will say I have heard you. You mentioned it to me the one time, like. And I actually think I watched the replay. You yelled at like Jonesy's due for one, and then I scored that shot.
Oh yeah.
And I have heard you since. So now sometimes when I hear stuff, I'm like, I gotta score this shit.
Well, it makes me feel good about myself too. I'm up there and I'm like, fuck yeah, man! I gave him that little boost, and he just finds a way in and snipes. But we were talking about kind of like the game presentation, and I think it's been like much better. The crowd seems real into it. We still got to get those like hardcore lacrosse fans that actually know what's going on. They're not just there for the party, but butts and seats is always a good thing. The energy is amazing. The Bud Zone is incredible. How do you kind of feel about that when you're playing along there?
Yeah, no, Rogers Arena has been great. There was like a lot of questions going into last year, and even this year, like, is it gonna keep building? Like, CSE Canucks have been doing a great job.
Yeah,
like everyone involved has been doing a great job. But at the end of the day, it's up to the fans whether they show up and really care, right? But no, they've been great. To me, it's kind of a letdown. Like we've had a few letdown games at home, and like those ones, you can obviously the energy is lower, and then we compare it to like last year. I think we had even the game we lost to San Diego by 1 goal. Like that place, like Rogers going crazy.
Yeah.
The overtime winner against Colorado where Logie scored in overtime.
Yeah,
like
that was
it
nuts.
was you could feel it, and it's a good feeling. But then on the other side of that, we've had a couple letdown games where it's like you feel a little more. You're like, oh god.
But even last game against the Bandits, I felt like the crowd was into it, and it was
And that's the other thing. So that even that letdown game, they're into it a little longer than they were before, which is a good kind of building block. So hopefully, we can first off get some more entertaining games at home, and then the fans will keep coming.
Colt's got a great idea.
Tyson and I were talking, and we brought it up on a past episode. And Colorado used to do it. They used to have a hot tub, and I think in the Bud Zone they need a Bud tub and mix the sexes. You know, you don't have to be in a bathing suit, but I think as a fan experience to be able to go and sit in the hot tub, you know, whatever you pay $50 for the ticket, and you get to 5 free drinks for the game. You know, it seats 10. Maybe an opportunity for whatever Pacific Coast spas, if that's a thing around here.
Brilliant.
I think it is. So Dan Richardson, shout out to Dan Richardson.
Yeah,
Also
we do want to say a big thank you to Dan, who's been a big supporter of Strip since it all got started. Which, you know, that's huge having that boost. But Dan reached out. He wants to hook some fans up, so we want to plug the Vancouver Warriors right now. Producer Ben's gonna hook me up here. We got this Under Armour Warriors exclusive right here. Nothing's offside. What do you call that?
It's team issue.
What is it?
Like dry fit shirt.
Dry fit. So it's like
it's another gear shirt. That's
you can't get this in stores. So this is
team issue.
A big deal. Yeah. And then we got a 2019 draft hat. And we've also got tickets. We've got vouchers for tickets to upcoming games. So we're going to be giving this away on our social media. Be sure to be following along. And bonus points. I'm watching you if you're subscribed to the Strip podcast, both on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and YouTube as well. We need to hit 100 subscribers so we can get that URL, Lacrosse Flash URL.
Yeah.
We're working on that.
And while we're at it with fans, Tyson and I, it was after the lacrosse game. We're walking through Rogers Arena, and we had our first Strip fan approach us and asked us if we were filming. But what's even funnier is he asked me to ask a question on this episode. We told him that you were coming on next, and he's like, ask him what the fuck the deal with his bandana. He's like, why does he wear a bandana? So I promised I would.
That's been a thing for a while.
I'd ask him.
No, just this year.
Was it?
I started in like game 2 or 3.
Bandana, but you
it's not a bandana. Headband, no? It's just it's a headband. It's a head tie or wrap.
You were wearing it in training camp, weren't you?
I've seen that before. I feel.
I used to wear headbands in warm-ups, but never during the game. I used to wear a headband during the warm-up because I had long hair and it would just be in my face, and that was the headband. And then I started wearing this little. It's like a head tie, I guess, or like and it's just to keep the sweat on my eyes, and then. Yeah, I don't know.
So to parlay into that, we talked about with the Cornwalls, like little idiosyncrasies and pregame kind of maybe superstitions. Does that?
Who said he's not superstitious?
My only superstition is that I'm not superstitious. So I'm like all over the map.
So you're saying next game you could take that off and you'd be perfectly.
I'm
fine?
liking the bandana so far. I think it's gonna stay for a little bit, but it could go at any time. Like I'm not attached to it.
And you switch up the compression. What do you call those? Like pants?
Yeah. I started wearing. I've worn tights for a long time just because of the turf.
I don't want to call them tights, but you did it for me. Yeah.
It's what are leggings? And that's worse.
Leggings.
3/4 or whatever.
Yeah.
So I started wearing those because your knees get you up, and I fall down a lot.
Yeah.
And then now I've got I added calf sleeves. So
I noticed that last
game. Like a full whatever, and those are just for comfort. Like those feel good on your legs.
So you go black at home, white on the road.
Michael Jordan.
I only have I have 2 pairs of the colored tights, leggings, whatever you call them. Yeah. I only have 1 pair of the calf sleeves, so they're always black.
Right.
So
All right.
I got to be careful. Shout out to Dan Richardson. I got to be careful what I wear because he's very team oriented.
Yeah.
And it's got to be you can't do your own thing, right? Which is I don't mind, but sometimes it's just I want to wear a calf sleeve that's comfortable and
I mean, when it comes to looks, the team looks fucking great.
Yeah, I think we look sharp.
The gear's nasty.
I think the league get better jerseys.
Yeah, we need to talk about that. No offense to ProJoy, I don't know.
Are they still ProJoy?
They're still ProJoy. When is Warrior?
Shout out ProJoy sponsored podcast.
Yeah,
not anymore.
Yeah, just see ya. When is Warrior gonna step in, or New Balance, or
Under Armour makes jerseys, or they did 1 year and then and then they stopped, or they did for the WLA or something.
I just think look at the success. Adidas has been crushing it in the NHL. Their jersey designs have been nasty. I was like, why Adidas when they switched over to them? Like they have no place in hockey, but they have like knocked it out of the park so far. So why not like get on board with someone? I don't know whose department is that. That's a marketing thing, right?
I go to the league meetings, or I did
Do you?
last year, so I'll
Okay, yeah, we got to talk
make
about
some
that.
notes. Yeah, and you guys are honestly like you guys are great guys to kind of give ideas for that thing, right?
Yeah.
So and they're doing a good job. Like everything comes down to money,
Right?
Everything comes down to resources. Everything,
Of course.
and then there's a priority of like what they're doing, right?
Yeah. Here's one of the things. Like I talk a lot. I have a big care for the business.
You're
in the
passionate.
league.
You're passionate about which is
You
good.
don't say.
And like you're not an idiot. So it's like, yeah, you know, I'm saying
thank
that
you.
sincerely. You're a good guy. And like I'm passionate too. I'm kind of quieter. I don't have the best ideas about like how to grow the league. I've never done that kind of thing, right?
I'm dumb too. It's okay. It's okay.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm an idiot. Like,
I'm an idiot.
but
He's a good sales guy.
the league meeting we went to I thought it was pretty good. It was
Yep.
it was for one of one, like the first time they did it. It wasn't like groundbreaking, but it was like
At least they're listening.
They showed us that they care. Like, and sometimes there's like a divide between like the suits and the players and the GM. It's
Right.
like they kind of were like, hey, you know what? Like we're in this together. Whether we're making all the right moves or not, like we're in it together. And that was a good thing. And then they let the players bounce some ideas off them, and they kind of just gave us a little bit of insight.
Yeah.
which was good.
So what'd you bring forward? Wasn't your like the green fly thing? That was one of your
Yeah, I
recommendations,
mentioned
right?
that. So like I was shortly part of that PLL thing, and they were like.
Mhm.
And everyone's commending the PLL, like, because they're just all over social media. But like, that NLL is doing some pretty good stuff too. That's maybe not as social media generated.
Yeah, that Dan Dawson and Adam J questions thing just knocked it out of the park. That was
I missed that one. Are you being
no,
sarcastic?
yeah, it was dog shit. No offense.
I
But
heard
if you check out the Strip podcast, we put out a little dime today for
Dan Dawson
for
did
everyone.
something dog shit. I have a hard time believing that.
Yeah, it was. I give it a watch. I don't know.
He's
It
my
was,
all-timer. Like,
the production,
Dan's solid,
the production value on it wasn't.
I'm gonna
an
send
A+.
Dan a text maybe tonight. Ask him if I have a couple more Coronas. I'm gonna ask him to do my first jersey swap this weekend.
Yeah?
I don't know if he'll buy it or not, but
Oh, I'll clip this and I'll
Yeah.
put it online, and Dan will definitely see it. You don't
You
even
think
have
you
to
got
text
that kind
him.
of- you think you
jersey
get-
swap? Teams aren't gonna pay for it. We're gonna have to pay for this out of our pocket. So
Or ProJoy can step up.
maybe
and
ProJoy could hook
man
us
up
up.
here and
That's that's bold.
But-
Do you think you got that kind of clout that Dan Dawson wants to switch with you?
no,
you think
I
he
don't. That's why. yeah.
Oh,
I don't know. You're on pace to be MVP here, so maybe.
yeah. Take
Maybe.
notes, Dan.
Yeah, Dan will be like, oh, 2020 MVP, man.
Wow,
One
you
of
guys
the
are just
swap jerseys.
ruining my shot at getting a Dan Dawson jersey.
Give him the jersey, Dan.
I don't know. Where were we here?
I played with Doss. I mean, shortly, but he was. I think highly that guy
Okay, so
Where did you play with him?
in Victoria.
In Victoria.
Vancouver times.
I guess
not a big deal.
You played on a few different places. Obviously, you've been in the league for a while. We've talked about with most
Bounced
guests
around, yeah.
where your favorite place to play is,
It's been Vancouver. Like I'm not just saying that because I'm here. I'm back home.
other than Vancouver. Outside Vancouver's an unbelievable atmosphere. I love
Like,
it. I
where
love going to games. I've been to
what
every one of
team
your
I played on,
games.
like where I've played.
Where you've played.
you
Like,
should have been at every game anyways,
maybe.
coming through the tunnel on the floor. But anyways,
It's still Buffalo. Buffalo is awesome, man. The Bandit Land,
Yeah.
kind of known around, and it's the real deal. Like I had so much fun there, and I just learned so much. Like I played with a bunch of legends that like
Yeah.
I could go on the list. It was just a very cool place to play, and they treated us well. There's really nowhere like I know some other teams try and claim that they're on par, but I still think Bandit Land's number one as far as fan experience and that kind of thing.
Buffalo, Colorado, Sask. I haven't been to Calgary, but I would say like those are my.
Calgary's like on the like they're starting.
On
to
the-
I went to
on the
Buck-
cusp?
I went-
right.
Yeah.
They're because they had some down years where they were same as like they're 8,000-9,000 over, but I feel like every
Right.
time I look at the arena now, it's packed and they're
well,
having a real party there.
Winning helps. Like I
helps.
wonder, I think next year you guys are going to start to really take off and really pull it together
Yeah, what
because
about
the
playoffs this year?
mess will kind of have been cleaned up, but not that
It was a mess. Like
it was.
sure.
What's it like playing for a team like that where like holy shit, we're gonna have some tough years here and like we got to
and
climb
no
out of
one's
this.
gonna watch and yeah.
Well, I don't want to say no one's gonna watch
No, I mean
because I
before,
think
like
yeah. Like last season, I guess it was all kind of fresh and with the potential lockout, it didn't end up happening. But
Yeah.
like the delay in the season hurts marketing campaigns in the first year of Vancouver taking the floor in Rogers Arena. Like that's gotta be a bit of a knock too.
Basically on 2 weeks notice.
Yeah.
Like,
And so like, oh, now come to our games and be like, oh shit. I don't know. I think the team's done a great job of like every time I watch a Canucks game, when you guys have a game coming up, there's Warriors plugs and brand association is massive. So I don't know what was like that, like, I guess coming in your first year and having to weather the storm, if you will.
it was just a lot of unknowns, right?
Yeah.
I tried to just kind of focus on playing, and it was good that I had a lot of familiar faces, like guys I'd play with, and I was back home, and it was kind of a good time in my life to be able to come back home after being away for so many years. But as far as like going to the arena and playing lacrosse, yeah, there was a lot of times it was like, oh, like, how long is it going to be like this? Are we going to get out of this hole kind of thing? And I mean, we're not yet, like I said, we're on a high right now. We're 4-5. Like,
Right.
so honestly, like, we're having a good time after a win, but some of us were joking like boys, we're 4-5. Like, like, let's be adults here. Like, we're happy, but like, yeah. So
I think 500 is a pretty good record for your second. Like even if you get to 5, like 5's a pretty good record for your second. You know,
But you've matched. No, you're more wins than last year, right? Or just matched
5 last year.
5.
Last
Okay,
year, yeah.
so that's
And it was like
reasonable.
even last year was kind of like, I would say that was like expectations. Like
Yeah.
we didn't exceed expectations, but we didn't go really below
True.
because that was kind of the expectations. Like,
better than 2 wins.
but yeah,
Better
we
than
started at 2, and like
they're in New York.
you never want to say you want to start the year and be like, yeah, if we got 4 or 5 wins, we're happy.
Right.
But like that was kind of where we were, and then this year we have higher expectations for sure.
Yeah.
Like I remember saying that out of training camp, and then yeah, life and then all stuff, man. Like we go, I think we had a 3-game losing streak there, and it's like, oh god, are we only gonna win 3 games again this year? Like,
Yeah.
and you start worrying. But no, I think we're in a good spot right now, and see how it goes.
You mentioned playing with some legends in Buffalo and growing up. Who we asked the Cornwall brothers kind of who they looked up to in the lacrosse world, or even just sport alone. When you're growing up, what do you think? Who'd you look up to, or who were your idols playing, or what motivated you when you were younger?
I really started looking at. I mean, when I was real young, I grew up watching the Hamleys, grew up watching my dad. Kurt Milosky was a guy who I always loved, like on his team. And there was other guys on the bellies that I really liked. Then the more like a real memory that I can think of is when I played juniors in Brampton. The Brampton team had like Colin Doyle, Josh Anderson, Anthony Cosmo, Dan Dawson, Aaron Wilson. Like I was watching these Man Cup teams go to war. I used to practice with my junior team, then practice with them after, and like I was nervous kid. I was 18 years old or whatever, going out there with these guys who are the best lacrosse team in the world.
Yeah.
And then I went to Buffalo. Some of my first NLL shifts were with John Tavares, so that was pretty cool. Like it was John. The left side there was John Tavares, Sean Williams, Ryan Benesh, and I sat on the bench. It was back when the NLL could dress like 18 or 19 runners.
Yeah,
so they kind of just put me in there to hang out on the bench.
That must have been a pretty surreal feeling to go out there and see some of
and
the
plus
guys.
you're in front of 15,000 people in Bannockland. Like I've only ever played lacrosse. Like I thought the Bunny Barn was sick in Orangeville. I was like playing in front of 500 people. I was like,
Yeah.
I've made it. Kind of
I remember my first game in Colorado, and like obviously when I was there, I had Casey Powell on the team, I had John Grant Jr. on the team, and then still loaded with other stars that were on the team. And I just, John obviously and Casey are 2 guys, and they're easy guys to play with, but John has one of the hardest passes to catch, man, and it's so unassuming. And I remember watching him in practice, and I've caught passes to him in practice, and I'm like, fuck, man, if he throws that in the game. And I was just so nervous, like for him to throw me a pass in the game, because when he throws it, he almost like torques the head of his stick, so it looks like he's faking it, but he's also releasing it at the same time. And I was just like lasered on his stick. I'm like, okay, I gotta fucking catch this. I gotta catch
please catch
and it
You're like, fuck, don't hit me in the plastic, man. And it bounces off.
just catching that first
Junior,
pass.
give me a fucking good pass, man.
That first pass from him was just a feat, and then he actually assisted one of my 3 goals that I think I got in the NLL. So that's something. And I actually
Cool. How many goals did you get in NLL?
I think 3.
Okay.
If you look up my first goal ever,
You think you got to know that, man?
it's been 6 years or something since I played. So I think I got
So the goal total hasn't changed.
I got 1 goal. My first year I played and I only got in 2 games, and I got probably arguably one of the nicest rookie goals that you could ask for. I behind the back from 15.
There's no video
From 15
it
out.
doesn't exist.
Yes, we'll clip it in there. It's grainy as fuck, and
you got
I'll
it?
find it. Oh yeah.
Right.
It's on my Instagram. It's on my Instagram. And then the following season,
I got the link right here.
the following season, I played defense and I had 2 training goals, I think. And then, like I said, the one of them I like pulled out, passed to John, then he quick sticked it back to me against New England.
How hard is defense in the NLL?
Honestly, I played on the short man too. I soaked a lot of shots. It's not easy, man. You got guys. We've
got the goal. We actually, it is greeny as fuck. He's right. Ben's like, Ben's figuring out his producing duties over here. He's crushing it.
Behind the back top corner on T Rich.
That is not bad yet. Is that in Langley Event Center or in
that's
Pepsi?
Yeah,
I'm going to get this one up on the screen.
So nobody saw it.
So nobody saw it.
At least it was kind of at home for you. That's cool, right?
Yeah, my brother after the game, he's like, "You would." That was my first shot ever in the NLL. He's like, "That would be your first shot."
Big shooting percentage guy.
No, I got yelled at.
I gotta get on Colton's level for shooting percentage.
I got yelled at after that because I like looked off like Matt McLeod or something like that. And I went to like for my second shot ever. I was feeling it. Like,
whatever happened to Matt McLeod? He just kind of
aged out.
Did he? Jonesy, I'm going to be on you about the shooting percentage from now on, man.
No, I'm gonna go. We're gonna go bottle up.
Are we going wine? No, I got more beers. You want to do beers?
What?
You want to do wine?
We can switch it up.
I mean, that's classy.
We've
as
never
fuck.
had wine.
We're all empty, so yeah.
I don't want Jim else to be chirping me. I gotta
try and find some wine glasses in there.
Cole goes today. He's like, I feel like this might be a shorter episode, and right now, like beers are flowing, conversation's great. So I don't know. I don't want to jinx it, but
what are we at? I don't.
What?
Yeah,
I don't know.
12 seconds later.
What's the average?
Mind passing me that opener.
What's the average stripped episode length so far?
Logan was the shortest at our first one, 47 minutes, and then Dixon was an hour 20, and then Delbs was like an hour 5, and then Teddy was an hour 6. They've all been within like the longest one I think was the Cornwalls at an hour 30, but Trav can talk.
Yeah.
He carried the show that time. He's a great talker.
Dude, they need to get him on board with the NLL after for sure. I know he said that like.
Well, honestly, the meeting, the commissioner was stroking him off. Commissioner
was he?
Yeah,
he's a fan of him.
Big fan of Trav. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we want to cut. We can cut that.
No, whatever.
Commissioner is a fan of Travis's. They're friends. I would say they're friends.
We can use that. We can use that part.
Well, and you got to be because Travis will like light you up on Twitter. Well, I actually said he's a DM warrior. He does.
People
it in
are
the
afraid
DMs.
of Trav in the league. Like, don't fuck with him. He'll light us up on Twitter. Yeah. He's smarter than us.
Mitch, so we talk about the business of the league, and like I said, that's something that I'm kind of passionate about. So I bring it up every episode. What do you want to see happen with the league? Like, is there something that you are
on the couch with Ben? I'm out.
Yeah, Cole doesn't care about the business.
No, I'm pretty. I'm I mean, as involved as you can be, and whatever. There's honestly not that much like information to really you can gather.
Yeah,
that was one of the reasons I wanted to go to that meeting, just because it's one of the only ways you can kind of learn about what's really going on. What I want to see, I mean, they're hard on expansion right now. You want to see that keep going, but like the kind of way they've been doing it, you don't want to see any of these teams that are just kind of a joke. And I think they've addressed that issue. Like, commissioner's pretty passionate about bringing real owners on board who are going to invest in the league and really help it grow.
Did you hear about Fort Worth?
Yeah, just today I heard about that.
The Fort Worth Panthers. I'm going to go on record saying this.
Like Dallas?
Yeah, outside of Dallas. So American Airlines would probably be pretty expensive to get in there, and just a tough ticket. But
do
Fort
the
Worth,
Mavs and the Stars play at the same building or no? I don't know.
I believe so.
Yeah, but they're not the same owner. Cuban, and then the Stars owner is a Canadian guy.
Ben, that's your cue to check
He's
check
like the
that
second
fact.
richest guy in Canada or Canadian.
Okay,
but he owns the Stars. So I thought maybe when I first heard the Dallas rumors, I thought it was gonna be that guy.
Yeah, the co-ownership there.
But it's not.
Well, okay. Here's I have no problem with them going to Fort Worth. Pat Gregoire was talking about this. He said he didn't realize. I think it was him. He didn't realize how big of a population Fort Worth actually was. It's actually
900,000.
Yeah, it's actually like that. Well, that's bigger than Denver.
Big?
I think.
Is that like
that's bigger than Denver?
Okay,
I think so. I think Denver's like 800,000. I could be totally wrong.
Not a big population.
Anyways,
ask the producer.
But the patent, they're talking about calling them the Panthers, and I'm like, and that's like apparently their nickname in that area is like.
How far away is Dillon High?
I don't. No, it's Yeah, Dillon Panthers. No, but it's what is it? That area is close. Odessa, Texas. Are they? I don't know if they're the Panthers. I almost worked there.
Friday Night Lights us right now.
I swear to God, I was almost like the sports reporter there. I had a choice between there and the NLL, no joke, and I took the NLL. No word of a lie. But the Panthers thing pisses
Where is
me
he
off.
now? NLL.
Yeah, seriously.
Why does it piss you off?
I bet on you
because Panthers is lame.
Yeah,
Like,
no, because you got the Florida Panthers, you've got the Carolina Panthers, and then you got an NLL team. And I was already like, with the Warriors thing, there's already a Warriors team. It's tough because there's so many pro leagues, so obviously you're going to have some overlap. But there's already two professional.
I wouldn't want to be in charge of picking names and colors for a team because
you're right.
It's a lose-lose. But it's like is
Totally.
Panthers the
No.
sweetest thing I've ever heard? No, but like I don't know.
Let's hear what Tyson has to say. What's your proposed team name?
I don't know if I had necessarily
They suck. It's shit. I don't have a good one, but like that one's dog
like
shit.
rolling with the Lone Star thing. It's awesome because you have like. I don't know.
The Odessa Cowboys. I guess you can't do Cowboys.
You can't do Cowboys. There's got to be something in there, though. I'm not going to say Broncos because
the Odessa.
I'd just be like such a hypocrite. I don't know. There's got to be something there that's not like too professional. There should be a limit. You can't have more than
sports
two.
I think Colts. Just saying.
You could do the Colts.
You could.
There's only one other team, right?
That's right.
Pros? I don't know. Anyways,
I don't know that.
my rant's done on that topic. But okay, so yeah, going back to the growth of the game.
Yeah.
Anything else that really like jumps out to you that you want to see kind of like changed, or is there something like a glaring hole?
The All-Star game.
Also going to be fun. I actually thought about the other day. It'd be like a fun thing to do, but
It'd be fun for the fans.
I don't know
Because he could go for sure this year.
This year, yeah.
I was like, checking the stats. Like, I think I beat All-Star.
Yeah.
Mitch is
Where
on
are we
Twitter.
going? Is it in Nashville or I guess like where?
Yeah.
No. One thing I gathered from that meeting we had was like, because they were talking a lot about the PLL. Like obviously they're all over the headlines and stuff like that. It's like, okay, they're pumping it on social media, and like the NLL is trying to grow through. I don't know the wording always correct, but like the Bleacher Report. What's that called? Like streaming.
Yeah, streaming.
So they're trying to do streaming. And basically, it comes out of money. It's like, okay, what the PLL did is like, yeah, sweet, they're on NBC, but like, it's a ridiculous amount of money they spend to do it, right? The NLL just doesn't have that money right now to spend on that. So it's a bit more of a slow roll, but like the way they explain it, it's like, okay, it makes sense. Like you got to get people to watch one way or another. Either you pay for them to watch, or you can gather them slow and steady through the streaming, through building these good owners and good cities where people are going to watch. And
so this is a different take. This is
and
we haven't really.
If you have
considered
right
this.
now, what do we have? 13 teams.
Yeah.
Do 13 have solid fan bases? I would say close. Like at least 9 are like you have to be happy with. Maybe there's 2, 3, 4 that you're kind of like want a little more from, but for the most part, you're there. Okay, say you add, I don't know if Fort Worth's the best option because like it's kind of unknown, but say you add another NHL team, a couple more who are like, okay, solid fan bases. Now you're up to, hopefully one day you can get like in the near future, you can get to 15 cities, 15 big cities with good owners who you're like, yeah, they have fan bases. Okay, then you start streaming it. And like one of the main things we talked about there too is like, how do you get these crazy Buffalo fans when I go to a Canucks game, if Ovechkin's in town, like I obviously know who Ovechkin is. If any team, I could like pick a guy, right?
Yeah.
In the NLL, it's not really like that. Like,
well, okay, so
it's starting a little bit.
example.
It's starting a little bit. So like, go ahead.
Okay, so Buffalo comes to town, right? And I want to start a Vino chant so bad. But
like,
I know that if I do that, people are going to be like, what the fuck is this guy saying? And that's no offense to Matt Vince, who is the best, in my opinion, to have ever done it.
Yeah.
So but they just don't know. They're not educated about the game.
They have to figure out a way to build. It's like when there has to be some news outlet and like you guys, that's why I love you guys. And there's outlets popping up who are doing it, but there needs to be more.
Shout out Stripped.
Shout out Stripped. Yeah, shout out Flash. And like,
thank you.
But it needs to be more. It needs to be, and there's like hardcore fans in Buffalo, but there's no information for them to really look up. Like, okay, if they're hardos, they can look up the box score and see that like so and so's coming town, they score the most goals. But like,
no consistent analysis that's coming out every week.
Yeah, exactly. So they're thinking like, okay, Bleacher Report is what we have right now. We have to start doing that in a Bleacher Report, and they kind of have. They've done like
They're doing like the pregame. And
yeah, they're doing the pregame stuff, and it's building slowly, right?
Yeah.
But it's a slow process. It's slower than you'd want it to be, right? But I think
that's the thing. We get impatient sometimes, but I think it is important to look back and consider where we've come from, because when I hopped on board with the league, man, I remember that first weekend I got down. I drove myself down to Rochester. I said, like, I volunteered myself to do it. Found a friend to stay with in Rochester who was living there. She was working for the Americans at the time. I was like, hey, like, I don't have a hotel paid for. Can I stay with you? Yeah. There's
a Rochester
no
in-game girl that I used to have a crush on, but anyways.
Oh, is there? Okay. So I drove myself down there, but there wasn't like any direction. And I remember they're like, hey, listen, we need you in the broadcast room, like helping out with, I don't even remember what it was. And then I was running out in between like intermissions and stuff like that, or just like even the quarters, whatever, half, and trying to get interviews and then going online and like trying to upload them. When I look back to them, they were hot garbage, like compared to the stuff I could do now. But it's come a long way is my point. So it is important to kind of take a step back, take a look back and like see how far we've progressed as a league. But we do get impatient, and like I think it should be a little bit further along. But
you may know the answer to this question, or you may not. Like, what's the idea behind BR Live? Like, why don't they like do work at like a kind of like a TV show where they just, you know, sell ad space on it instead of
it's like commercial break.
Yeah, where they just inundate people with commercials, like even being in that local area. Like if you're playing in Minnesota, they sell ad space on BR Live. Like I watched BR Live this weekend.
Ads are bullshit, right?
Well, there's nothing. And I was saying to Tyson, I was like, shit, we should advertise.
No, but
on
there
BR
is though.
Live. There is sometimes like they didn't like. I see a Matt Rambo one on there,
but it's the same shit.
It's all league produced stuff right now, mostly, or sponsor.
I think
sponsor produced. I'm not sure the answer to that. I think part of it is they don't want to underprice themselves, where it's like someone give us an ad, like
right,
let's do it, and then okay, they want it, and then you can't retract that.
But the marketing team's got to be on top of that, right?
Yeah, they could do. There's stuff they could do better on.
You do it in the off season for sure, right? And you just say, hey, this is a game that's being played in Colorado. You reach, and that's where your advertising team goes around. They call local businesses and say, hey, this is a perfect spot. We have this many viewers.
But games are coming up regionally now too, right?
Some teams have regional. I think if you look at it,
Warriors and 30.
The honest fact is like the NL office. Like I don't know the numbers, but like there's not that many. There's only so many people there, and they're focusing on like league sponsorships, which they're doing a pretty good job. Like the Geico, the Alternate Bank, there's a couple other good ones.
Well, AT&T, but something happened with that one.
Okay, there's a few good ones. That's like their main focus, because that will bring them the money to be able to do other things.
Yeah.
So like it's just a resource thing. There's just not that many people to like find these commercials, make them, like, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's an issue, but it is what it is, right?
Big names like Geico helps because people recognize.
And you see it from
brand.
one perspective. You see it from a fan perspective. You're like, oh, how nice it would be if we could just get a fucking commercial. Like, could we just get something? Like, it's like, you know, when you're watching a game, it's more enjoyable when there's a commercial. Like, it's just
we'll do it.
Makes
we'll
it
do
seem
it for free.
It doesn't seem bush league, right? It seems like
it's not
legit.
hokey, right?
But I just don't think they've had the time and money to really invest in that. They've got other things on their priority list.
Yeah.
I don't know everything either. I'm just
you're a dummy like me.
I just had a couple.
Speaking of commercials, that Matt Rambo commercial. That Matt Rambo.
You guys want to shoot a commercial? Let's get a lacrosse flash one going. Send it to me.
Well, I
play it for free.
I messaged you this weekend. I said, we should advertise on there, like as for lacrosse flash. Right?
I don't know.
You didn't respond to me, which is kind of weird since we're roommates. Yeah, he didn't respond.
So here's the thing: contact the league and be like, hey, we will create this. Like, what?
For free. They're like, yeah, it seems like a good deal for you.
Right? I don't know. Like, I don't know what. Maybe they'll be like, no, you owe us $20,000, or maybe they'll be like, hey, like,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It seems like they're only promoting teams, right? Like they have Vancouver, which is I see every single time they're playing the Vancouver one. They're playing. I see Colorado. Well, no, San Diego. If
it's anything what it used to be, teams like they have something.
Think of it this way.
And then they're like, play this, please.
Think of early Snapchat. There was no, or not Instagram. There was no ads. Right. Could they have gotten Strip Coffee to do an ad? Like, yeah, they could have, but they didn't. They didn't then. And now you see the ads, and they're probably worth like $1 million.
Well, you got to build value.
You got to build value. Yeah. So like, I don't know the business model. Whereas like, do you make it? Yeah, that's, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know, but.
All right, well, let's get off business. Who the fuck are we even to be talking about this?
Cole hates the business of
We're solving all their advertising issues. Like, tune in, I don't know.
We're problem solvers here at Stripped. As long as we've got a solution, I think that's important. We don't always, but
it's a conversation.
Yeah.
And I mean, we all want to see like, NLL get bigger and better, right?
PLPA, if you need an extra voice at the meetings, give me a call.
PLPA throws good meetings.
Do they?
Oh yeah.
Actually,
they had the last one in Vancouver at Joe Forte's.
When I was also working at a bar back in Toronto, because my bills weren't totally covered by the NLL. All the boys came through after. It was like Suits and Coatsy was there, and yeah, it looked like a fun time.
The PLPA regulars, yeah,
the regulars.
I actually missed the meeting and came for the dinner, so I can't
for
say
the
that.
people for the people at home.
I'm not a PLPA rep.
Talking about Andrew Suter and Dan Coates.
Right.
You nicknamed them there, and
Sorry.
people don't know, right? There's other
Suits and Coats.
Yeah.
I mean, those are some big names.
As a reporter, though, you're not supposed to do that.
This is Stripped, Colton.
Okay, whatever. And back to Mitch Jones.
Okay, yeah.
Jonesy.
Jonesy.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Jonesy.
Back Jonesy. We asked Logan this question. What do you think you'd be doing if you weren't playing lacrosse? Like, what are you interested in? This is more of a fan kind of question. Like, what do you do outside lacrosse? What if lacrosse wasn't in your life, and or hockey or sport? What do you think you'd be doing?
I was gonna say hockey, but I mean, my life's been a long time kind of revolved around sports, and not just revolved around it, but like sports have given a lot back to me, kind of thing. Like I was able to get a scholarship through playing hockey, and like I don't know if I would have went to school if I didn't have that, like, or secondary education kind of thing. Like what would I be doing? I don't know. I have a job, so like probably just working. Like
What's your job?
I do some random stuff, but I got my real estate license, so I started doing that.
Congratulations.
So that's kind of something that's interested me. I've started doing, but maybe I would have to do that a lot earlier, like as opposed to playing sports till I'm 28 and working part time here and there. Like it would be a tougher life, I think, if I just couldn't play sports. Yeah.
Logan said he wanted to be a chef. Like he's like if you knew you wouldn't if you knew you wouldn't if you knew you wouldn't fail, like what would be your dream, what would be your dream job? Like lots of people would be like Tyson would be a singer.
My dream job. I mean, maybe a singer. I cannot, like, that's something I'm the worst at.
If you could,
yeah, if I could.
Being a performer, a rock star I would work. Anyone would choose rock star.
Yeah. When I went to school, I was interested in finance and numbers. I'm half Chinese. It was like in my blood. Like I would do something in that sense, I think.
And did you just laugh at that?
I would probably just use my brain a little bit more than I have been. It's like, yeah, I can't pinpoint what I would really be doing.
I actually didn't know you were half Chinese.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I get, in the lacrosse world, I get like Indigenous a lot, or Native American, or what.
But no. Okay.
Yeah.
So I have a question about being a two-sport athlete, and you crush it at both. Obviously, it's not easy to go D1 and play NCAA hockey, and then you're a professional lacrosse player. There's been so much talk of this importance of being a multi-sport athlete. You hear a lot of people coming forward about it. I think Wayne Gretzky's talked about it. John Tavares, like Maple Leafs, John Tavares has talked about it. What are your thoughts on that? How important is that to you, and how important do you think families? How much importance do you think families should be placing upon that?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't imagine it any other way. Like I grew up playing sports, and it's like I wasn't pressured to play, but I was introduced to all these different sports. I played a lot of soccer when I was young too, so it's like you get a little bit something different from everything, but at the same time it's the same. You got to work hard. You got to be a good teammate. You got to a lot of it's the same. So and I played with a bunch of guys, especially hockey guys who were like, it's like spring hockey, winter hockey, and all they know is hockey.
Yeah. And
not that like I'm the most cultured person ever because I played hockey and lacrosse, but it's like you do get just different perspectives, and I think that really helped me. So yeah, I think it's great. Like I think they tend to put a little too much on it's like your lacrosse game will help your hockey game. It's like, no, just being a human being and doing what you enjoy and
not burning out, right?
Not burning out, especially and having fun. Like it's more fun to just try different things. Like that's kind of what helps you, I think.
Yeah.
It's more of a marketing ploy where it's like John Tavares can control the puck better because he played lacrosse. Like, I don't know.
No, I agree with
He
that.
probably enjoyed playing lacrosse. I actually played against him. Probably enjoyed playing lacrosse, and then getting a break from hockey, and then going back to hockey. He had more fun. Like it's just
I was stuck on him one game,
but he enjoyed $10 million a lot more than 30,000. So
we had I had to face guard the guy. Like I was just in his face all game. He probably fucking hated me. Yeah, I was in grade 10, and just like stuck on his face. I got some serious butt ends from that guy. He was probably one of the only guys that had like henchmen on his team out to like fight in field lacrosse to anyone who like fucked with him. The guys are like calling me on and stuff.
He's already getting super age for the OHL, and like he's already had his ticket in his back pocket.
Everyone knew
he was playing for fun.
Who he was.
he was playing for fun.
I still have that, like a picture of that on my wall in my room.
But yeah, I think that's the best thing about playing multiple sports. And then I was lucky enough, like I played competitive hockey and lacrosse till I was 24, I think, 23. Like, so that's longer than most people get to do that.
So when you have that like kind of crossroads, I'm sure playing NCAA hockey, most guys, and like you take a look at your stats, you were pretty successful playing for Northern Michigan. You probably could have gone and played in like Austria or Germany. I don't know if I'm selling you short here, but
no, you're on par. Like,
yeah, I would say so, right? So what made your decision there? Like, how come you went with the lacrosse route versus going to play in Europe? Because that would have been a pretty cool experience as well. And Brad Self did something like that too.
And I talked to Self a lot about it. Actually, my first my first real year in Buffalo, like I talked to Self about it. I kept thinking about doing it the year after that kind of thing. Yeah. Long story short, like I did the college hockey thing. So to take it back a bit, when I graduated high school, it's like, hey, I could have played college lacrosse or college hockey. And the reason I chose hockey was if I played college lacrosse, there's nowhere else to play hockey. Like you're going to school, you hang out the skates kind of thing. If I go play hockey, I can always come home and play summer lacrosse. And I got to do that. And then as far as hockey went, like I had a ton of fun there. I got my degree. I played on a pretty good team. But I just was kind of maybe a little burnt out. Maybe I didn't have the best like atmosphere as far as my coach and whatever. And I kind of just at the end of that. So at the end of my senior year, I had the opportunity to go play for the Bandit or the Stealth actually right away. And I was like, yeah, I'll take that opportunity. Like, go try this out. And then that was after my junior year. Yeah. And after my senior year, I was like, yeah, I think I'd rather do that than say go play in the East Coast League, make $500 a week, play 72 games on the bus. I've already grinded out the college hockey thing and the junior hockey thing.
So that's ECHL. So why not Europe?
I just wasn't quite ready to like fly across the continent or like fly to a different continent overseas
and stay there,
like, and do that for like, it wasn't like I was going to KHL making $1 million. Right. It was like I could have searched out a thing and like basically gone back to war. And so that was kind of my situation in hockey. And then in lacrosse, I was a little more confident where I was like, hey, I can play in this league for sure. And like, we got a job during the week, like still travel around, still play sports, still be on a team. It was the more comfortable option, to be honest. And like, yeah, I don't regret it. Like for a couple of years, I was like, I missed playing hockey, or I thought, what if? Like, who knows? I could have made it to the AHL. You never know, right? But I don't regret it at all. I've had a ton of fun playing lacrosse, and it's turned out pretty well.
Well, now, I'm on pace to be the MVP. It's easy to say that.
Stop jinxing me.
Yeah, sorry, man. Knock on wood.
Seems like a perfect time. Tyson and I have been trying to think of a way to work our producer Ben into the podcast, you know, other than just sitting there making sure that we sound all right.
He's got a mic.
He has a mic, so we're gonna give the mic to Ben. Maybe he's got a question for you or a question for us, and we'll see if we continue doing it based on how good his question is.
I don't have a camera in front of me, Ben. Sorry. So normally I turn it to you, but
I'll live over here.
Okay.
I got a question for Mitch here. So recently I went to a Warriors game. Okay. Colton kind of saw. By the end of the night, I got kicked out of the sports bar. I think my cousin
and his cousin.
Yeah, he was throwing cans on the ground and stuff like that. And I'm kind of getting into the game, but like when we're talking about Bleacher Report and when there's that paywall, like, because I went to like WLA games and stuff, and there's a ton of kids in New West and Burnaby that go see games for cheap at Queen's Park, but how do we get them all down to Rogers Arena on a Saturday night? Because I still know a ton of lacrosse fans just from high school, but to actually get them down to Rogers Arena seems a little tough.
The Chess Bus.
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, So you're talking more guys like our age now?
Yeah, like all the
Yeah.
kids are from like New West and all those guys that when you're in the summer, they always show up down at Queen's Park.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
I
you
have an
gotta
idea.
you gotta
I
look
have
at
an
it.
idea.
Like literally, Queens Park. There's like 500 people there. Like, so you gotta kind of take that into account. It's like, yeah, we'd love everyone who likes lacrosse to be there, but at the same time, I think being a small part of the like Warriors marketing team, it's like you gotta build your brand and kind of find your demographic, build your brand, and like you can't be too worried about like the guy who's already likes lacrosse and maybe doesn't want to come kind of thing, or maybe likes the old school lacrosse. So that's kind of how their mindset is, if that makes sense.
I'm wondering. So I had an idea, but I don't know. This kind of popped into my head, and it might be totally stupid, as lots of my ideas are. But what if? And I come from a background of like, nightlife and stuff like that in Toronto.
He likes to party.
Yeah. No, but seriously, I was working in I know bars and
Tyson, I like
restaurants
to
and
party.
I know the business behind that stuff too, and getting people into a certain venue. What if you had almost promoters of the sport? Like there were people, and I'm talking like New West. You had someone coming from Burnaby, Langley, whatever. You gave them a party bus. You said fill it, and then maybe there's some sort of incentive for those promoters, like there is in bars and restaurants, whatever, to bring people in.
I'm kind of that guy. Like it might not be the exact, like it might not be the nightlife scene you're looking for, but like I go around to 25, 30 schools a year. It's younger elementary school kids and like promote the game and show them videos of the arena and like these kids are pumped. Like they love it. Like they want to come.
Right.
I don't have the numbers of like if they're showing up or not, but like they're excited about it. I think I'm doing a pretty good job just like kind of getting them excited about lacrosse.
Yeah.
And like whether they show up this year or not, like they're elementary school kids. So like those are the fans.
It's an investment.
If this team's gonna be around long term, like that's who's gonna be the fans, right?
Yeah.
And I know a lot of like lacrosse people are like so concerned about like the guys who used to play lacrosse coming to the games and liking it, and I am too. Like don't get me wrong, like my dad comes to the games and he's gotten over like he likes watching lacrosse.
Yeah.
It's what lacrosse is today. But you can't be too worried about the people who like aren't there kind of thing. And even if they're lacrosse fans, you got to build your brand and get the new wave of people coming in.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then the other thing is like I floated an idea, and they actually liked it, but never followed up with it to the Warriors. I was like, why don't we? It's something we did in Buffalo. Like we put a poster and give tickets away to every bar within a radius of the arena.
Yeah.
And like so, these bar owners or managers, whatever, have tickets to give away. And like the Warriors loved it, but then they never. I said I would do it, and they never followed up with it. So, but that's kind of like on what you're saying. Like, so if you walked in to the Shark Club, and they're like, tonight we have a giveaway, Warriors, like, boom, we're talking about it. At least talking about it, more people would come, right?
I think if I don't know how this would work too, and it's all going to change next year, so this might just be a waste of air, but. Like with BR Live, somehow getting it in bars, like having like the Warriors headquarters or something like that, and just giving a bar that kind of delegation would be huge, where Warriors fans could go and watch, or maybe you put it in like 3 or 4 where, hey, we're just going to get it on a few of the TVs, give them a code or something like that, some sort of commercial license, pay for that as an organization, and just get people's eyes on it and kind of start to spread the word. I don't know. That's just...
It's not a bad idea. We continue to solve problems here at Stripped, but
it's an idea roundtable, man.
Colton not being interested.
I felt
Well, they do
back to business again.
They do the Warriors in 30, so that's kind of
that's huge.
That's,
and on
like all my buddies
it's
talk. Like,
massive.
I've had a lot of people come up to me and be like, "Oh, like I saw you at the plays at the gym or at the bars or whatever." Right?
Well, and it's your image on, or it was on Throwback Night on Canucks games, so you got to feel pretty good about that. Do people like stop you in the streets at all? Like, hey, you're Mitch Jones, Mitch Jones. No?
The one guy at the gym came up to me and was like, "Hey, he literally just looked at me and he's like, you're Mitch." I was like, getting water. I was like, yeah, like, hey,
that's me.
One guy's on that.
Yeah, that's like us with the Strip podcast. They came up one time.
Like, yep, that's us. That is us. So what's up?
Just can we film you doing that again? Like, coming out to us. We got to bring back those Mitchapalooza t-shirts though. I think those were gold.
I got a squabble. I ordered one that it hasn't come.
What?
Yeah.
No, like you paid for it?
Oh yeah.
Okay, well,
Has
we
not
got to
come.
look into that. No way.
Yeah.
Maybe because we took it off the site. Okay, well, we're gonna redesign them. We'll make sure we get a few for you. Still looking for sponsors. If you're
kind of
watching.
Ponzi scheme you guys got running there, buddy.
Okay, so I don't know if people understand this, but it's like a third party organization, right?
a drop shipper.
Yeah, a drop ship. So we don't actually have the overhead. We're working on getting that, and that's why we need sponsors. So
would come.
Yeah.
we'll correct the issue. There will be
Check my
Mitchapalooza.
statement. Maybe I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we gotta look into that. But yeah, something that we need to do and bring back those shirts.
But
Yeah, I forgot.
hey, Ben, good question, man. We'll let you have another one next week, I guess.
Thanks, boys.
No conference, nothing. Just
What's that?
no review or nothing. Just he's got it.
No review. Yeah, I mean, we would just cut him, I guess. If we just cut that part out if it was a shit question.
Pretty sure he's doing the editing. Is he not?
Yeah, but we can.
I do the video editing, so I've kind of got the final say. But
Couple lighter-hearted questions to end off the podcast, I guess. You listen to any podcast besides Stripped, obviously?
Yeah, I got a few. When I was in the summer, when I'm like, I work with my brother, like more construction jobs. Sometimes we're doing his glass thing. I listen to podcasts more then. But anyways, I listen to
Wait, perfect chance to shout out your brother's glass company. Where this is free.
glass company, Jason Jones. Oh man, he always trips me. I have the toughest time saying his company name. I gotta look it up.
For people listening,
What a
Mitch
great
is
brother.
pulling it up on his
Sequoia
phone.
Stairs. Sequoia Stairs.
Sequoia Stairs.
Tell me how you spell it. Anyways, he does glass railings, fancy staircases.
On
Check him
mansions,
Check
so
him- yeah,
you got a mansion,
If you're
you're
rich, hit him up. Check him out on Instagram. But anyways, the podcast I listen to. I'm a Chicklets guy. I do Dax Inman, the armchair expert.
Oh,
I don't mind him.
Dax Shepard.
Dax Shepard. Sorry, what did I say?
Simon, but whatever.
Yeah.
Fucking works.
what?
I did Joe Rogan. If it's like I filter through his guests, 'cause he's got so many.
Yeah.
Like, if I kind of know who the guys are, if he sounds interesting. And Strip's next in line. That's
There we
about
go.
it, yeah.
There you go.
We need
number.
we got a
number
blue
4.
check mark, dude. We need some serious promotion of Strip from you.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have that many followers. The check's kind of just it's for show.
You're like Logan. You begged for it.
I just got the check to make Logan jealous, really.
And he probably
No,
was.
the Bandits Media Girl got me the check like a while ago, and Logan was he really wanted it.
Was that Kelsey?
Yeah,
Kelsey got it?
Kelsey's a beauty. Yeah, she.
Tyson's
So,
fucking
so I
wheels
was
are spinning.
so I was living with Josh Byrne and Dane Smith, who
Yeah.
like Josh was like needed the check mark, right? So they attacked her for it, and then
Right.
she's like, "Do you want to be like? Do you want it too?" I'm like, "Yeah, why? Okay."
There you go. Okay. Yeah, you need a team to kind of submit that. While we're on the topic of Mitch Jones, we haven't gotten into that.
Mitch
You guys-
Jones.
Or,
You've
sorry,
been on Mitch Jones
Yeah.
the entire time.
I'm Mitch Jones.
sorry, I'm like a beer and an eighth deep here, or whatever. Not a math guy. Logan Schuss. Apologies. You guys live together.
Yes.
What's that like?
It's great. He's a great roommate.
You guys need like a reality show, I'm sure. Like with the
No, we're not
Warriors.
that interested.
No?
He's Logan's a hard worker, man. Logan's at work a lot. He's a great roommate. He whatever, we can hang out when we want. We've known each other for so long, right?
Yeah.
We get along. I don't like. I'm trying to think if we ever really fought or had any like squabbles. It's pretty light between us.
Let's get into this. Sorry, real quick, just to like sidetrack really fast. So you went to Orangeville from Delta for what, your final year?
for my last year.
Just
I
your last
never
year.
really played Delta Juniors. I played Delta Juniors as a call up, like when I was 16 and 17.
Yeah.
I never really the 3 years of junior getting BC. I never played for Delta. I played for Brampton, and Orangeville.
Oh,
You're
okay.
pulling a me here, hey? Just like complete backtrack to,
Yeah.
to a different topic.
I mean, he's saying things. I'm like, oh man, I
never
need to
played
ask about that. I don't
Junior
really
with
know.
Logan. Like I grew up playing with them. We played intermediate together.
Yeah.
Guys, I gotta piss.
Why
My
did he
dick's
join
Should we
you?
do a pee break? I'll come with you. Yeah, cross swords.
Several bad puns later.
What were we just talking about? We were talking about podcast before.
No.
you,
We were
went-
talking about Mitch not playing for Delta. And like why? So why didn't you get Logan? Okay.
Hold on. Hey, we're back, guys. Back from our pee break.
I tried to get Logan to. At one point when I was in Orangeville,
Yeah.
like they were, like I was the new guy there, right? And they were asking me like, "What's up with that Logan guy?" And I was like, "Yeah, bring him out." And Logan kind of just, I don't think he wanted to leave Ladner at that
No.
point. He did his Ohio State thing, and like I don't know the whole story. I never really asked him about it, but I know they were interested in him.
Yeah.
And it just never really happened.
Could have had a Minto, dude.
Could have had a Minto.
He's very like true to his
He's a
team
homebody.
that he's playing.
Yeah,
with,
he's very loyal. Logan's like a super loyal guy, and like
Yeah.
I was kind of the opposite as far as like Delta Lacrosse went. Like I was just like ready to
Jason
go.
Rings.
Yeah, well, I was just ready to go experience something and whatever. Like,
Yeah. Where did you live in Orangeville? That's like I grew up in Orangeville.
I lived at Dylan Ward's aunt's house.
Did you?
Who was a gem. Like,
Yeah.
in her she had a basement suite that I lived in. So I was close to him. I was Jeremy Noble lived like I used to walk to his house and like he had the pool going and everything.
Yeah.
Rob Hellier, who's like younger than me, he had like just bought his first house, I'm pretty sure, or like moved. I don't know, something like that. Him and his girlfriend had like a house together, so we'd like go there and like have the best time.
At 18?
Yeah, I had nothing about it. Doesn't make
He
sense.
was
to me.
playing
Must
pro
be like
and
Nanaimo prices. They're like $100,000 a house or something, unless he's just
Maybe they're honestly they could have just been renting it, but like
Yeah.
they're the only ones who had their own
Right.
place. Like, no, I had a great time there. Like, there's a bunch of real good guys on that team.
the Bunny Barn was a lot of fun.
Bunny
too,
Barn was
eh?
buzzing. Yeah,
I fucking hated them playing against them in junior, but like even before that, I went to games all through high school and stuff, and they'd be packed, man. It was like Friday Night Lights for
my
lacrosse.
first game in the Bunny Barn. It's like when you're the home team, we go by the concession, like
Yeah.
in between intermissions. My first game there, it was like halfway through the season. I played
Yeah.
the first half of the season. Some like girl came running up to me, like, give me your number, and I was like, where am I? Like, what is going on?
Yeah, that's awesome.
But no, I don't.
There's a hot ticket, man. They were like tough with security, letting people through. Like you needed your stamps. I never paid.
It was packed. Like when we play Six Nations and our playoff games, it was packed in there.
Yeah.
So you've won a Minto Cup, you've won a Man Cup, you've won not a Champions.
No, close.
Close.
Finals.
Been to 2 finals actually.
2 finals.
Tyson and I are in a group chat with a bunch of guys, and they wanted a WLA question. So if anybody wants to tune out now and doesn't give a shit about the WLA, now would be the time. I'm gonna have to read this, which is tough for me.
Colton
Is this
can't read.
is this
I didn't
one
know
of
Colton
those-
can't read.
Do you think professional lacrosse players will ever stop playing summer lacrosse and focus solely on the NLL?
Hey, you did it. You did it. Nailed it. First take. There's no editing involved in this.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the goal as far as like the NLL is concerned. Like they want to make it. In our CBA, they have a clause where it's like they're as of now they're allowed to make it up to 26 games. Like they'll pay us prorated, but they're allowed to make it 26 games, and then they kind of have like a 5-year plan to try and make it like a full-time kind of thing. And once that happens, like I don't think guys are gonna keep going back and playing summer ball. First of all, the season will get longer and it'll overlap, and second of all, it just won't be worth it for everyone, right?
That was one of the big topics with Travis, right? It was like guys, they don't realize that guys may not want to go.
It's controversial.
full-time.
Like, I mean, I grew up watching like the WLA was my NLL. Like, I didn't know
Yeah.
anything about the NLL until I watched the Dan Dawson YouTube video. Like,
Same,
but
yeah.
it's probably the WLA was the best players in the world.
Yeah.
So it's controversial. It's kind of sad that whatever, but
you respect the history, but you've almost got to like move forward with it.
I
I think
was-
when you look at like the WLA, people care about it in that market. It's not there. There are some people
I
outside.
mean, the Man Cup is what keeps it alive. The Man Cup is very cool. The Man
Yeah.
Cup is hard. Like the Man Cup is the ultimate lacrosse trophy still. It hasn't changed, I don't think. But like, yeah, there's gonna come a day where I don't know. Maybe they should make the Man Cup the NLL trophy. Who knows?
I think the focus for now, at least, not necessarily like going full time with the NLL. Yeah, that's a great idea. I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon, but at least full time where the players just want to play NLL lacrosse. And I know I would imagine that the owners and GMs just want their players playing for that team. They don't want them going and getting injured in the summer or burning themselves out, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a year round thing. So that's maybe a change that needs to kind of be made. But
I mean, I love playing the WLA. Like I still get league.
go Bellies, baby.
You still what?
I still love playing in the WLA. Couple extra bruises here and there, but it's
I think it's a good place to keep your skills sharp, though,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like I don't know, it's a fun league to play in. Yes, there's some. I mean, there's some trash parts of that league. Is complete fucking.
It
trash,
cancels out
but-
the hot bags.
Yeah, it keeps you in
Right?
shape for sure. But I mean, there's
You can
it'd
crush,
be
like,
nice. It'd be
Wendy's,
nice. One
McDonald's.
thing that they, like the senior B league has that I think the senior A league should kind of adopt is that they don't play on long weekends.
yeah,
I think-
the MSL, the Eastern League doesn't even play on weekends very often.
Yeah, they play lots of week games, right? But I mean, that's something I think they should get rid of. Maybe a couple less games a year, go to 16 or something like that. Like it's, nobody's making millions of dollars in
no
the
checking phones
WLA
here, please. No
where
checking
it
phones live.
matters.
I got a buzz in. No idea who it is.
McDade's still wondering why I haven't called him back. He's like, he's getting drunk. I can feel it. But yeah, Tyson, you have any more questions for Mitch?
Man, I don't know. I think we tapped out. Honestly,
I'm not getting drunk, but I'm proud about it.
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
Cab Sav, what year is that? I've heard 2013 was a good one.
I happen to have a wine glass
26.
sitting beside me too.
20. I have no. Okay, let's see the opening skills here.
Let's see what kind of topics come
All
off,
right,
off
so-
drinking this wine bottle. Mitch, do you have any questions for us? We always like to
Yeah,
ask our
that's
guests
true.
if you have any questions for us. Like, I don't know.
They've been light so far. We haven't got.
You also
too
know
deep.
us. We
Who's
see
been
you
your
quite often.
Who's been your best guest so far?
Before you,
Here's
I
the
don't
thing.
even
Every
know.
episode that's done, I'm like, I said it last time too. I'm like, we just fucking.
I want a
keep
shit.
getting higher.
I'm looking for a shit guest. So like, I can't. That's when we're just like me and Tyson are looking at each other, just like look over Ben. Like, you got anything? Like, this guy sucks. Maybe we should just like poach somebody who's just dog shit.
But that's production too. Like we think ahead of time. Like obviously, great time to get you on board. Oh, Pours first. I'm just joking. He brought the goods.
pours himself first. You guys are welcome. Yeah, shout out to Mitch. Mitch Jones brings us.
No, not really
booze.
any questions. I mean, I'll give you guys a plug. I think you guys are doing great. I think, like I said, there's the more lacrosse info we can bring. It's an interesting little world. Like I know just playing and meeting all the guys I've played with, and it's got a lot to offer. Like as much as any other sport, right?
Yeah.
So just kind of getting the light on that is something I'm. What am I trying to say? Something I'm impressed with, I guess. Like, yeah.
I think when it comes to the business side of things and like the pissing and moaning that goes on, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but like I'm just passionate about this. Like there's nothing more that I want to see than this taken just as seriously as the NFL.
Yeah.
And that's why I do what I do, and I put in the work and the time and the effort. And I mean, I care about cheers. Care about all the players and the people that I've crossed paths with. And I know that, sorry, I got to drink to that. I know that, I don't know, just what a big role lacrosse has kind of played in my professional life. Friends like Colt's my best buddy. We now live together across the country after having played for New West together. Like the connections are awesome. And it's a great family to be a part of. And I want to see it continue to grow. So yeah, I'm sure there are times when people are like, this guy's just fucking bitching, but I want the best for this league. So
No, for sure.
What? Okay. Well, who do you want to see? Like, who do you want to see?
Oh, the
on
next
pod?
guy.
Yeah, the
know
next
that.
guest.
I'm
We-
gonna
Yeah,
say the next
okay.
guest.
It's proven a little bit
I
tough
think,
for us to
I
get
think
guests on.
you guys should, and like maybe I could even help you with this because like I know more Eastern guys than more Eastern guys than most of the Western guys, right? Like
Yeah.
I've been there for a long time, but you guys should tap into some of the teams on the road coming here if you want more lacrosse guys.
well,
we tried.
We
Tried,
we
yeah.
actually did with
tried,
Buffalo. I got an email back about that today.
Like,
It went to junk mail.
So that's what I'm
So-
saying. I could help. It's like, hey, if you told me that like I could have pried Dane Smith out here or something like that, like
Well,
The
Colt
amount of
reached out
time
to-
that they're
to
here.
Burnsy
Yeah.
and
it is quick. It's a quick turnaround, yeah. But it's
So you got to catch them after their Friday shoot around.
Yeah.
So
you
they're-
know who we are going to get though? Like we've been talking about it for a while.
Biz
Actually,
Nasty.
working on it. Biz, if you're watching,
it's probably got a price tag behind them.
yeah, for sure.
we'll pay with our sponsors that we haven't got yet.
I'm sure there'd be some sponsors that'd be like, I'd hop on board if you got Biz on, and they would put the money forward. Anyways,
We'll put all the money towards biz.
He reached out after episode 1, and it was Mike Poulin.
Pooley's-
And
I don't know
Pooley's gonna
Pooley
be-
that well personally. I've like run across Pat, but from
Yeah.
everything you hear, it's like that guy's a real
Dude,
real
he's-
good guy.
He's one of the best for sure. And so he reached out after episode 1, and he was like, love it. Love the idea. This is something we've needed. I needed to come on board with it. So he's going to be coming out when he's on the road, and I'm sure he'll just kind of make the time. We just need
That's pretty
players.
quick here. That's the 29th, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's
one
creepy.
more.
Country night. That's a Georgia
Didn't know
Swarm.
that. Yeah.
There you go. But yeah, no, he's going to be wicked to speak with, but we just need players to kind of like take the time. And it's awesome that you've done this and brought wine. Pooley, bring wine. But yeah, we need guys to like take the time out of their day to like buy into this. Like,
Yeah.
like you have guys like
I
not
would
sitting
way
there
rather do
stiff
this
and weird.
than like, and I'm not knocking anybody. Like I'm
Yeah.
just not like a huge like posting all the time about myself. Like it's kind of like it doesn't make me feel good. It just kind of makes me awkward. Whereas I know, like, but I see other people do it and they do a great job at
Yeah.
it, and like fans
It's a humble
like that.
thing.
But I'd rather just do this. It's like, and if people enjoy this and want to watch it, that's
But
great.
you're just as important than those guys that are, right? Because there's lots of kids that are just like you that don't want to post a lot of things, that maybe are like, okay, Mitch Jones, they see themselves as a person like you, like, okay, Mitch Jones is my player, right? Like I'm like him, so I'm gonna follow him. You know, he's not all over social media, where there's guys like Logan that are all over social media that they maybe different guys relate to and follow, but like younger kids that are just like
Did you see Logan's granny tweet last night?
the introvert types.
I've been a bit hot on Twitter lately. I tweeted at the Canucks game yesterday about Logan.
Oh, I
He
saw that,
came
yeah.
back with talking about chirping his granny's hearing aid. Like almost crossed the line, but like, hilarious. Like,
But yeah, I mean, you throw up a post every once in a while, and you don't need to post every single day. We at the end of the day, we want to build your guys' followings, and we want to hopefully, you know, like say, see you guys make a lot of money playing lacrosse
Yeah.
eventually. Yeah, so you can
This
make
is
a
the
living,
promotion of what you're
one of the
doing.
things I think about sometimes is like I relate to. So I grew up watching like the '90s NHL, I would say,
Yeah.
and like by that time,
the best.
By that time, like I think that was just unreal. But by that time, they were making millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So those guys who like the Joe Sakic's and the Eismans, those guys grew up watching like the Phil Espositos and even whatever further back, and like some of those guys made some money, some of them didn't. Like, and so I'm kind of like, oh, like maybe one day if the NL is big, it's like, hey, I'll have my name in history a little bit. Like, like that. The league is legit now. It's not like huge, but it's at the point where it's like, hey, there's documentation of it. There's
For sure.
So I think that's kind of
Everyone's got their imprint right now, and I think that it's just at a growth period where a lot of people who are involved with the sport do have their name in history a little bit. I like to think that I would, like, even a small amount. I'm not like patting myself on the back, but I would like to
But
be
it's
a
like
part of that.
motivation. It's like, hey, why are you doing this? Why? Like, it's
Right.
like,
There's the power of why in anything you do.
Yeah.
Like, why do you take the time out of your day? I don't get paid for this, so
one day you'll be showing a house to like some young stud lacrosse player. He's gonna be like,
yeah,
"You're Mitch Jones. You're my favorite player."
Why are you selling fucking houses?
He's gonna have a tear running down.
I just signed a contract for $600,000. I think, yeah, commission doubles on this one. Like,
Oh, that's fucking funny.
I would like to somehow, I don't know if we could do this, but have some sort of association with the PLPA, right? Where
no, they're pretty open. Like, I mean, I don't know them that well, but I know there's like 4 or 5 of the guys, the lawyers. They're pretty. A lot of them are ex-players.
Yeah.
and they're pretty open to like whatever. Like, they're here for us. Like, they're
Yeah.
the PLPA, right?
yeah.
Could be something. Whatever. I don't know what you're thinking about, but
Yeah, no, we just this is an idea table.
stop into the dinner like I do. That's it's a good start.
Right. This is gonna be like a 5 hours later. We're still here crushing the bottle of wine. Just
So
getting drunk,
I'm
pitching
not a
idea.
PLP rep.
Just slurring
Never
it
have
out.
been. And I show up to this dinner, and I know like most of the PLP reps personally, like, and they're they're laughing. They're welcoming me, but they're like, "You scumbag!" Like, free dinner. I'm like, yeah, like, and their drinks are flowing. I'm like, yeah, like you can come here, but I can't. Like,
Yeah.
well, I pay my dues.
I think we've set a record now.
What's the record? First pee break in stripped history.
First pee
One.
break. First 2 different types of booze.
Yeah. We've never had. This is the first time we've ever had wine on the strip podcast.
The longest episode.
This is on a Tuesday, by the way. You guys have a bye. No, you're playing Toronto this weekend.
Tuesday booze
Okay,
day.
this is on a
Play
Tuesday,
Saturday.
so your current MVP leader, knock on wood, is not compromising this weekend in any way. I need to make that perfectly clear. Yeah, it's.
But if he
vitamin
was, it's none of your fucking business.
Yeah, have a good game.
It's his ritual to get
People will
drunk
be
on
talking.
Tuesdays.
All right.
If you score like 10 this weekend, you're coming back every Tuesday to get rinsed.
The stripped effect, man.
Yeah, once strip gets going, if there's reoccurring guests, we'll see who the first one is.
100%. But that would require you to bring stories from the road. Like, you got to be locked and loaded with content for us. Because
I mean,
we
I-
can't
like-
go back to the whole why hockey or why lacrosse. It's got to be like, what?
How we sound?
That was
Hey,
me.
don't get me wrong. Like when
It's usually me.
on 3 nights ago when you guys told me to go on the podcast, I started thinking like, what stories can I tell? I'm like, I just don't know how deep I can go. Like,
No, of course.
even it's like
You could be the first, man.
The NLL has some great road stories. Like there's
Yeah.
okay, like
There's none that I can talk
The-
about.
the
So
whole-
have a great night.
the whole
Nothing
story
like it
thing
used to
kind of
be.
came from Chicklets, right? That's like they started telling stories and people love that. And so I think about it, I'm like, hey, like those guys, a lot of their stories are like they have a lot of money, they're doing cool things.
They have no boss. They have
It's
to
like
go to work.
NLL's like same kind of characters that you get on that, but like we don't necessarily have $1 million to spend, and we're kind of like
necessarily.
yeah, we don't.
Collectively.
Like we're still doing fun things, but like it's like a little greasier, I would say. So like you can't, I don't know, I can't sell myself out.
No, and that's what we talked. We talked about that with Christian. We've talked about it with Dixon. We talked about it with everybody. That it's like we, as much as we
Put it this way. So you asked about our road trip home from Rochester. We had a lot of fun. It's Tuesday. The team got a couple calls today about our behavior, and like nothing bad happened.
Yes.
But like we had to agree as a team, like, hey, like we would cross the line a little bit. Like so I guess.
Weekend Warriors.
Yeah, Weekend Warriors. And like, yeah, we won a game. 4-5.
4-5.
We deserve.
Whatever. Nothing's offside. I don't think
I'm not making a joke. Like I want to win
No,
every
of
game. Like, I'm
course.
not. I'm just. It is what it is, right? We're fine.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
We're having fun.
You guys got to
And
make
why wouldn't we
playoffs.
be? Like you make these long road trips. You're flying. I think I was in the 31st row of one of these flights. It's like we're having fun. We're grinding out. I play a game Friday night. I'm so dehydrated. I'm getting on the plane Saturday morning, like traveling across country. It's like, yeah, we're gonna have some fun if we win a game.
We alluded to this in previous episodes. We were talking about like you guys work your fucking asses off. Guys have full-time jobs throughout the week, and then if you go on the road, you play on Friday, and then you go on the road to Rochester, you fly across the country. Sure, you're entitled to having some fun. Why not? Like if anyone beats you down about that, they should fuck off.
All right, that's it. That was a great episode,
Yeah.
I think. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it. Thank you, Mitch, for coming on.
We got a positive review.
As always, still looking for sponsors. So, and please click the link to subscribe if you're still listening at this point. Click the link. We need those subs.
5 stars, Apple Podcasts.
5 stars. Leave a comment. Let us know you're listening.
Talk about my sick hands when I play lacrosse.
But we'll leave it at that. Mitch
asking
Jones,
people-
his
Leave that to Colton to tell all the cross stories.
his social
All 3
media.
goals. I had 2 goals in junior. That's it.
Mitch Jones' social media will be somewhere right around here. If you want to follow me and Tyson here, follow the Lacrosse Flash. And if you want to follow Ben, go for it.
We got that giveaway.
What giveaway?
We got that giveaway.
Oh, right.
Yeah, this is we got it on this note.
What was his name?
Jake Sidero from he's a proud Albertan patriot.
Jake's,
You're the winner of our Christian Del Bianco quarter zip and Calgary Roughnecks hat that Delbs was nice enough to bring. You're the winner, so we'll be reaching out to you and contacting you and hooking you up with your prize. Thanks for playing along. We got giveaways coming up too, so stay tuned for that.
Congrats.
Thanks to the Vancouver Warriors.
Jake. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks for listening to the Strip Podcast. Catch a new episode every Wednesday. We're giving away prizes every week. Follow along with our social channels at Lacrosse Flash.
Once again.